君と見た世界さあ始まりの鐘が鳴る We are City now.
Getting into the top 5 anime of 2017, KonoSuba Season 2 is kicking this off. And really not a surprise for anyone watching me for a while. KonoSuba Season 1 was a surprise hit last year. It introduced you to the useless bunch, the asshole Kazuma, also known as the guy that fights for gender equality, that crazy village girl Megumin, aka Miss Michael Bay, the thick knight, 50 Shades of Darkness, and of course the useless goddess Aqua. Altogether, Megumin and friends were stuck in fantasy Australia. So, most people love Season 1, chances are you did too, but how about Season 2? Would another season with this party be as funny as the first? I really want to know what you thought of Season 2, so let me know. Personally for me, I gotta be honest, Season 1 felt a lot stronger. And sure, I know you have your own unique complaints about it, if at all. Here's a couple of mine. I do have to bring it up. One of my main issues watching it the first time was just the change in animation styles between Season 1 and Season 2. I'm not saying that one was better than the other, and I don't think I would have minded if they were consistent with it in Season 2. I'm sure you might have noticed too how they kept on switching back and forth. Sometimes it looked like Season 1, other times it looked like the new style. The issue was just that this constant change made it hard for me personally to adjust. It kept on taking me out of the scene. But who knows, maybe this was just me. Was this an issue for you? Or maybe it had the opposite effect. I will be fair by saying that I didn't notice this almost at all when rewatching Season 2. And at this point I've seen Season 2 like 5 or 6 times already. Anyway, another thing for me was that Season 2 of KonoSuba seemed to peak really on Episode 3. The rest of the episodes were still enjoyable. I mean, this is freaking KonoSuba, but it wasn't laugh out loud funny. Part of the reason for this might have been because there was a lot more darkness on screen. And hey, it's totally cool if you find her funny. Comedy is super subjective anyway, but darkness and her masochist steel just doesn't do it for me at all. It really didn't help that Season 2 had a lot more of her in it. And I know, I have watched this with friends and people from work that just find darkness to be the funniest part of KonoSuba. So who knows, maybe I'm the crazy one. Although I will mention that darkness and her joke do work for me in the manga and light novel. Anyway, at the end of the day, this is still KonoSuba. Plus, my favorite Megumin was still a complete blast. And not to mention the OVA for Season 2 was freaking hilarious. Bonus points right there. So here's hoping we'll be blessed with another season or two of this useless bunch.
Yes, go ahead. Let's try again.
Getting into the top 4, Sakura Quest. Looking around online, it seems like a lot of people haven't checked this series out. In a time where anime is focused mostly on a high school or younger cast, Sakura Quest is very welcomed. But anyway, what is this anime even about? Sakura Quest is a slice of life series. The anime focuses on this girl Yoshino. She's this young girl fresh out of college in the big city of Tokyo. The struggle is super real for her. She's gone through like 30 interviews without any luck. Thankfully, this is one part I cannot relate to. At this point, Yoshino doesn't know what she's doing with her life. One day out of the blue, she gets a phone call. It's from this advertising agency she previously worked for. They had an offer for her. The desperate Yoshino decided to take the job, which required her to become the queen of this small town. Yeah, the freaking queen. Unfortunately, it really was queen in name only. She basically became the mascot of this small town. The problem was that she only signed away her life for 1 year. Now, Yoshino's new job was to work hard to revive this dying town. Monoyama is really the type of place that's only being kept alive almost entirely by tourism. Forget about becoming the Hokage, defeating the Demon King, or taking out the Beast Titan. That right there is easy, but this is Mission Impossible. Anyway, I'm not too sure if this sounds too interesting based on that description, but I'm sure you could relate to this cast too, especially if you're someone that just came out of high school. The focus in the story here, of course, involves Yoshino and the team she puts together. I personally found Sakura Quest to be extremely relatable. I mean, I did grow up in a big city, Los Angeles. Right now I happen to live in a smaller place with less than 50,000 people. Throughout the series, you see Yoshino struggling in what really is an uphill battle. This anime makes you laugh, but also tear up in unexpected moments. Any small victory these girls get is really achieved through sweat and blood. What I really loved about Sakura Quest was overall how it feels very grounded. You might be watching this and expect some sort of Disney-like miracle. Sorry, that magic is not here. If you get a chance, definitely check out Sakura Quest. It'll be a worthwhile binge, and you won't be disappointed. Getting into the top 3, Recreators. I freaking loved this series. Out of the mountain of sequels last year, Recreators felt like a much needed breath of fresh air. This anime takes the isekai genre and flips it. You have characters from all type of series that are suddenly transported over to our world. They all come from anime, manga, visual novels, light novels, dating games, you name it. All of these summoned characters then pick their side to fight in what they believe is truly right. In the series, you got the magic girl, the holy knight, the mech pilot, the super powerful swordsman, the demon psychotic girl, the mage character, which by the way is voiced by best girl Rama, the old battle-torn gunslinger, and more. Altogether, the mastermind pulling the strings in the story is a military uniformed princess. She's pretty much like Aizen. The princess has unlimited power. Her ultimate goal is the complete destruction of our world, and any parallel existing world of the other characters. Honestly, there's just so much to love from this series. It feels like every character gets enough screen time to be fully fleshed out. They all bring their different perspectives to the table from their stories they come from. And even though you're gonna find some characters that are really frustrating at times, you understand them. You get to see that they're justified in how they feel. Recreators also lets you see the interaction between these characters and their actual creators. Sometimes it really is like parent and child, and that just makes it for a fun back and forth. Other times it gets really dark. The soundtrack for Recreators is also freaking awesome. It's by the same guy too that worked on Attack on Titan. I do appreciate how the series establishes pretty early on how these characters are not safe. You'll grow to love them and then cry when they're gone. I might be tearing up just thinking about it. Even the villain for this series is pretty fleshed out here. You just feel so bad for her and feel for her pain. Poor girl. And really, I don't think this short section here does this anime enough justice. Definitely watch it if you haven't, or leave your thoughts if you have. But anyway, is it perfect? For me, it is as close as possible, but I do see everyone having different complaints about what they wanted to see in the finale. Personally, I was hoping that a certain character would have a bigger role in the final battle. There was also some interaction I wanted to see at the very end that unfortunately did not happen. Let me also mention that as soon as I finished Recreators, I wanted to watch it again as soon as possible. I had to get a bunch of my buddies to come over right away. This was where I did notice a slight issue. At times, Recreators can be a little too dialogue heavy. I was super into it the first time around, maybe that's why I didn't notice. And don't get me wrong, I do love the discussions these characters get into, especially as a type of creator myself. A lot of the stuff they do talk about really hits home. But anyway, when you do step back, I think that is a minor issue. Once you get into it, you'll love it. It does help that there are enough action scenes sprinkled all around to help this flow really well. So, have you seen this anime yet? If not, definitely treat yourself. It's easily the best new anime from last year. My second pick, Attack on Titan Season 2. Seeing how much of a colossal hit the first season was, I'm sure you're very familiar with this series. The important question is, did the sequel live up to the hype, especially taking into account the super long wait? The answer to that is surprisingly complex. For Season 2 of Attack on Titan, this picks up on the same day that Eren battled against a female Titan. The highlights of the season include Eren versus the Armored Titan. They really did a wonderful job bringing this to life in the anime. It definitely elevated the source material very nicely. But let's not forget the grand finale in the final 2 episodes. It gave us Mr. Badass himself. You just can't keep this commander down. It also showed you this wonderful confession scene from Mikasa. And there really is a lot to love here. And that's just since overall, especially the final 2 episodes, elevated the source material so much. So, that means it's better than Season 1, right? Definitely let me know how you felt about it. I think largely I've seen 2 different views for Season 2, and where you stand really depends on whether or not you read the manga. As an anime-only person, to be perfectly honest, I found Season 2 very frustrating. As a manga reader, Season 2 wonderfully captured the manga again, similar to what Season 1 had done. So in general, if you're a manga reader, Season 2 rocked. If you're anime only, you might have been let down, disappointed over the short season, confused, or some combination. Do let me know where you stand. I think Season 2 is really better seen as a transitional season into the upcoming 3rd season. This season has a lot of things being set up that'll come into play later. It will be one of those seasons that gets better on rewatches, once Season 3 and Season 4 are out. I do like how the animation got a huge improvement over Season 1, which I heard the WIT studio just had a crazy time trying to finish Season 1 on time. The awesome soundtrack is also still here, which was just as great as Season 1. Story-wise, I could totally understand if you were frustrated compared to Season 1. Season 2 was way shorter, and it also took a shift from the story just to set up the next 2 arcs. That's why I think it is a bit unfair comparing it to Season 1. Attack on Titan Season 3 should be able to recapture that excitement that the first season brought. So back to the original question, was Season 2 better than the first? Personally, I don't think so, but I also think it didn't have to be. Season 2 is going to be elevated by the upcoming story that follows anyway, so look forward to Season 3. Top anime of 2017 for me. Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale, also known as the SAO movie. If you've been around a while, no surprise to see this in my top 5. Just like Attack on Titan or My Hero Academia, SAO needs even less of an introduction. This time you got Asuna and Kirito stepping up to their next challenge in augmented reality. Personally, I've been in love with the SAO series since the end of Season 2. After that, I thought that the story was done, at least in anime form. That's why this Ordinal Scale movie being announced was a total surprise for me. For the longest time, I was worried about what would happen with the movie. I mean, with news and trailers coming out, all of that just kept on raising everyone's expectations for it. At the time, I was a little bit in denial, thinking, there is no way this movie is going to live up to all the hype. No way. And my god, thankfully, I was so wrong. SAO Ordinal Scale perfectly built on everything that the series had set up in Season 1 and Season 2. It's the next chapter in the story for Kirito and Asuna, especially for their relationship. In the movie, I don't think I found any slow parts in the pacing. And once again, the soundtrack was simply amazing. But anyway, why is this at number 1? I mean, as you already do know, it really does come down to personal taste. But to be fair, any anime in my top 5 are really similarly ranked to one another. In the end, it comes down to SAO Ordinal Scale being a more special experience for me. I was lucky enough to watch the movie in a private screening in Japan. I was also lucky enough to meet the director of the movie and meet Reki in person too. That's the bridge story anyway. You heard me mention this in my full review of the movie. But back to the movie. This Ordinal Scale movie does cover the latest adventure for Kirito and Asuna. If they really wanted to, this could be the perfect way to end the series. Thankfully, they're not doing that. You got SAO Season 3 coming out soon. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Click that like button if you enjoyed. Question of the day for the Crunchyroll giveaway. Which anime were your favorite top 3 or top 5 from 2017? This is the second part, so did any of your favorites make it onto my list? Which anime did you love that did not make it on here? Anyway, definitely give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any awesome videos. Right now, I am thinking about doing a video on the worst anime from last year. Does anyone want to see that? Comment and let me know if you do. Also, unfortunately this top 10 was a lot longer than I expected. I didn't really get to do a proper honorable mention list that I wanted to. I might do a second video highlighting other enjoyable anime from last year that I didn't get to. Would you like to see that? Comment down below and let me know if you do. Anyway, that was my top 10. Leave your own list down below and I'll see you guys later.